What's up, everybody? Matt Dawkins here with
Peter Sanger here.
And we're excited. This is episode 3 of the Pinecast, and today we're talking about the power of community. And just a reminder, we are talking to CrossFit Sacred Pine athletes. Our goal is to get vision to you. We want to help you understand why we do what we do and what we care about so that we can be united and excited about what is coming up in our box. So as I said, today we get to talk about the power of community, something we value highly, but first we want to celebrate what happened this weekend. So, Peter, what happened this weekend?
Festivus for the rest of us.
Festivus for the rest of
No
us.
fire breathers allowed.
You guys might not be able to see what's on this table right here, but
Oh, I'll show.
the Sanginator walked away with his second gold medallion from Festivus earlier in April. Took the W.
Took the W in the individual competition and the Masters, and I decided not to do Masters this time and do the novice partner, and I was able to bring in a last-minute fill-in, Alex, who bailed me out. Sorry, Ray.
Yeah.
Ray got hurt the Wednesday before, and Alex was like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" "I'm coming to watch." Like, "No, you're coming to compete, right?" And he went home with a sandbar, a GNC gift card.
Oh my gosh. If you hear a barbell dropping in the background, that's Alex, putting in the work. He's got a second wind now after that gold medal.
Hopefully got him hungry more.
Well, just to speak to what we saw Saturday, we actually had 3 teams take a gold medal, which is exciting. Shout out to Ashley Hopkins, Kelly Hankins, also Mark Hankins,
And Vince Martin.
her husband, right? And Vince Martin taking the gold. So one cool thing I want to point out that we saw.
I think the thing was this one day is because they had custom T-shirts.
That's probably what it's all about, the custom tee. If you guys do competitions and you're not rocking a custom tee, if you're watching on video, you see Peter.
It's kind of started with this. A couple of the athletes in their morning class, I would notice they would color coordinate their outfits. I'm like, this seems like playing. Like, oh yeah. I'm like, well, I want in on this. So a couple other ladies, we became Team Blue, and so during the partner WODs, they would wear the blue shirts, and then on a 3-person partner, I would jump in. So we had blue shirts. So Festivus came up. I'm like, I'm making T-shirts. So I made the T-shirts, and other people are like, I want T-shirts. Next thing I know, I'm making 6 T-shirts for 6 different teams, and that's community. It's like everybody embracing the togetherness, having the fun.
Awesome. That's a nice segue, but we're not segueing yet. One other thing I want to celebrate with our athletes was at the competition on Saturday, we had 24 athletes from our Rocks compete, but we had over double that of people there supporting and cheering on, and then we had a little section filled out. And I don't know, I say little, I should probably say big section.
It was a tailgate section.
In the fan and athlete section, and what I loved seeing was our box be so inclusive. This is just who they've become, who our box has become over the course of time. It's an incredibly inclusive crowd, and we saw people from other boxes coming over, and our folks offering them food and fit aids. And speaking of fit aids, we'll see if we open these today or not. But I probably met double digits of people at our section of people that did not go to our box, and I love that is the personality and the character of our box. Just a community-based group of people.
It is.
Right on.
It is.
All right. Well,
maybe they just wanted the free Chick-fil-A's that Cece brought. I don't know. Could have been.
Well, we thought we're going to get into community in just a second, but first we're going to bring you the physical challenge. And because Peter is recovering from his win on Saturday, we're going to do the physical challenge a little different. We're going to work a different muscle today. We're going to work the mind muscle, and I'm going to actually turn the table on Peter. Last week, as you know, we played the newlywed game and found out we are 0 compatible. I got less than half the questions right.
I'm pretty sure we can do the honeymoon.
Shame on me. Shame on me. But today, I am actually going to test Peter's trivia of South Carolina. If you don't know, he hails from the southern tip of Florida, somewhere down there. Moved over to San Diego, where he's been for the last season. And in December, or January, when was it?
It was November.
November, he moved to Ladson, South Carolina. So I'm going to see how well he has gotten to know our state. I got 3 questions for you, Peter.
3.
Question number 1 is this. Do you know where the first, I guess your clue is it's in South Carolina, but where in South Carolina, where the first battle in the Civil War was fought? Do you know?
I do.
Where is it?
Fort Sumter.
That is correct. He's 1 for 1, ladies and gentlemen.
I've been there a couple times.
Let's see if we can stump him. Peter, do you know what the state amphibian is?
I do.
What is it?
It's a salamander.
Unbelievable. All right, we're going to ask several more questions because he's nailing these. Do you know the state insect?
If it's not the mosquito, I don't know.
It's the praying mantis. All right, it's just 2 and 1. Here's your chance to walk away 3 and 1 or 2 and 2. If
Sounds
it's 2
like
and 2, we'll go tiebreaker.
Okay.
We'll give you a 5th one. Here's the question. The question is, do you know, we are a CrossFit Box after all, do you know where the state of South Carolina ranks among the 50 states in terms of obesity ratings?
Well, being the best and least obese, we have a lot of athletes here, so I'm gonna say 28th.
You're gonna say wrong, my friend. You're gonna say way wrong. In fact, South Carolina is in the top 10 least fit states in the US of A. In fact, I think in 2017 we were 44th. We might be 45th now, so we are moving in the wrong direction.
Well, if they went by the BMI, I'd be unfit too.
You know what? They may actually go by the BMI. We'll get the stats. We'll get them all in the in-body scanner and have some fun with them. All right, today we are talking about community and.
You said if it was 2 and 2, I'd get a 5th.
I'll just go 2 and 2.
Yeah.
You are 2 and 2. All right, 5th question.
I like trivia.
5th question is, what are these bird houses? No, the 5th question is, what is
The yellow jessamine.
what is the city of Charleston also known as?
Well, Chucktown, Carolus,
Keep going. You gotta give me 5 aliases.
Holy City,
Okay, there's 3.
America's finest city.
I'll call it that. I'll go with that. That's 4. Give me a 5th one. You can Wikipedia this one. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. It is also known as the Big Sweet Grass Basket, just in case you guys were wondering. Not the Big Apple. That's New York. Charleston is the Big Sweet Grass Basket.
Sweetgrass Serenade, it's the name of my future novel.
Future novel coming at you. Author Peter Sanger. So let's have some fun today talking about community. But before we talk, let's go to you guys. Many of you guys, you had a chance to get a camera in your face this week, and you were asked the question.
After a long workout, I appreciate
After a long workout, you were asked the question, why does community matter to you? So we're gonna pitch to you guys. You guys check this out.
Hello everybody, this is Peter.
This is CC.
And we're doing a little thing for the Pinecast. We want to know what our athletes think about community. So how does community affect you in your CrossFit journey?
Community is very important. Community is actually the only reason that I'm still here.
The only reason?
Yes. Well, the biggest reason that I'm still here. You can work out anywhere, but having the programmed, varied workouts is great here, but the biggest part is community. All of the support, all of the people who, come in and cheer you on and greet you and yell at you and sometimes, make you do stuff that you don't think that you can do without community.
It's huge because if you don't have community, then you don't get any better. You get better when people push you, when you push people, when you help people to do their best. And I love that about coming in here. I come in here and I'm not the youngest, obviously, and
Probably
I'm
the
not,
best looking though.
Yeah, it could be, but I'm not. So when you're one of the last ones out the door and people cheering you on, and one of the last ones doing something cheering you on just as hard as you're the first, I love it. They keep me doing better.
It's what holds us accountable. At least it holds me accountable. And without my friends, CrossFit would be nothing. So.
What do you mean? You wouldn't be doing these workouts at a private gym by yourself?
No way.
No, so she just took her hand off of my shirt because it's sweating.
It means support and family and someone to help motivate me and keep me going.
So for me, I literally teach this. I have a PhD in exercise science, and so I know all the movements to do. I can do the exercises, but the community is what makes me love coming in here, makes me wake up in the morning, makes me want to spend my weekends at Festivus Games and push harder and get PRs. And
they keep me motivated. They keep me coming back. I was exercising on my own before, and it wasn't doing me any good. Here I feel motivated to come and see all my friends and and get a good workout. We're really pushed good by our
Are you saying you wouldn't be doing the blender by yourself?
absolutely not.
You wouldn't be going to a Festivus competition and competing?
Nope, sure wouldn't.
Well, we're glad to have you part of our community.
I'm glad to be a part.
Thank you.
Well, it's my tribe. It's my place that I come for a little bit of calm in my storm and just a little bit of fun with my bestest friends in the world.
With everybody here pushing and helping and, you know, cheering you on, that's the way to do it.
There's times in workouts and when you're working out and you're trying to do fitness as a lifestyle that you don't feel like doing it. And having this family that kind of pushes you on and says, no, you can do this and this is important and this is vital and you can do it, it's everything. So community is life.
Well, it keeps me accountable. By myself, I'm not going to exercise. I'm not going to push through all the things and exercise that I do if I was trying to do it myself.
It's the encouragement too, just for people.
And we're back.
We
Fit
are
Aids on
back.
3. Fit Aids on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
I had a little like effervescence come out of that.
It was like the who was it? Goldberg. You know what I'm talking about? WWE. Like throw the chalk up.
Well, LeBron.
Maybe you spit it out.
LeBron.
I don't know. Well, LeBron got it from Goldberg. So, you know, I grew up in Hartsville, South Carolina. We didn't watch basketball. We watched professional wrestling.
Tractor pulling.
Tractor pulling. We definitely had rodeos and tractor pulling, and we shot things, birds and deer. So I never actually shot a deer. All right, we're back. Thank you guys so much for chiming in and being willing to be a part of this thing. Community is so important. And so thank you guys for giving your feedback. I want to pitch to Peter for just a second. Peter, why don't you just go ahead and take us up to 30,000 feet? I don't want you to feel like you got to limit it to CrossFit World, but I know the community has made a difference in your life in many different aspects. Talk about community and why it's so important for you.
6 miles up.
6 miles up.
Yeah, community is everything that's worked for me in my life has been through a communal basis. I mean, starting out in the earliest thing as my peer writing group, I was part of for 18 years. Even going to fantasy football or something, right? Something as you know as that, you know. So the writing group where you're sitting in a group. Every week you have to submit your own writings, you have to be vulnerable and let other people read it and not worry about the critique and get the feedback, and it's just a shared integrity thing. And then what happens is the relationships are built over the time. Well, then I had my own issues where you know, I used to drink too much, I used to do other things too much, and I had to get in a recovery situation where you're sitting in a group in a circle and you're telling your story. You're talking about your personal life to strangers who just walked in for the first time and you might never see them again. But if you don't do that, you're not helping yourself, and 2, you're not helping others. They will always tell you someone who was there for 20 years clean and sober, they need to be reminded of the pain of what other people went through, because you get so far removed from it that you can forget. So, you know, that was important. And then losing weight. You know, I could do Weight Watchers online. I could just go off the app, but instead I choose to go to the meetings every week, be around 30, 40 other people who are committed to showing up, stepping on the scale, celebrating the victories when they have it, and then they have non-scale victories as well. You get some recipe tips about what's working, what's not working, and you're there for 45 minutes, and it's just a positive experience. And the same thing translates here to the workout. You know, you show up, you see some people come here after a long day's work, and it's their refuge. It's their time to meet friends that they don't get to see other places. And so when you're sharing and sweating on the stall mats, there's accountability in the workout. There's integrity in the workout. If you didn't push and encourage so much, you wouldn't care so much. All the communal events that go on outside of the box wouldn't have the same meaning. You would not get 50 plus people to show up at Festivus to support other people if it didn't start here first. And so that's what makes my heart swell. That's where the gratitude comes from. It's irreplaceable for me in my life, and I don't know what I would do if I didn't have it. I feel so blessed moving to this.
Have you ever tried, like, you've taken a lot of steps since you stepped in community. Did you try to do these things without community first, or?
Over and over and over again. I had my membership at a big box gym since I was 16 years old. You know, you isolate and you get depressed. I used to run trails. I used to bike. I used to swim. I used to run trails with a sippy cup filled with bourbon. So I'm not. You're not doing a Karen with a bourbon cup.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's such a good thing to point out. I mean, you couldn't do it by yourself. You found community. Not only did you find out that you could do it, but you have done, I would argue, what most people consider the impossible. And you just said you isolated yourself and you got depressed. I don't know if you guys ever thought about that, but isolation pretty much equals destruction. You get yourself by yourself. I mean, and there's even some people who maybe you're able to do a lot on your own. I just want you to imagine for a second what maybe you could do if you had community. But you have such a good drive, a personal drive to do things on your own. Imagine what you could do if you were surrounded by people all headed in the same direction. Maybe somebody in your life who was a step ahead of you, pushing you. Imagine what you could do with community. So,
I mean, we had 24 athletes show up at Festivus, being vulnerable. They were being viewed as a spectacle in front of everybody else, cheering them on.
For the first time.
And once you hear 3, 2, 1, go, I remember seeing some of our own athletes wanting to quit, and the minute they were starting to look like they were starting to slow down, you heard the screams get louder, come on, keep going, and they picked it up and they fought through to the end. And maybe they didn't get the results they wanted, or maybe but at the end, then it's the sense of accomplishment. I did it. I never thought I would do something like this in my life. I never thought I'd be competing in anything like this, and here I am.
Yeah.
I'm in my 30s, 40s, 50 years old.
Listen to the background. Yeah, listen to Alex back there, who is going in on this workout probably because of the way he was impacted by his experience on Saturdays, and they're working his guts out. He wants more now, and so it's also what community does. It doesn't just help us accomplish what we want to do. It helps us accomplish more than we thought possible. And that's why it's so important to us. So in the box, one thing we've discovered is that one of the greatest forms of community is a byproduct of co-laboring, is getting in the trenches with each other every single day with strong accountability, coaches making sure the reps are done correctly. Somebody's watching you at all times, not just the coach, but other athletes, right? You guys are in the trenches together, getting a high level of training and suffering.
Try raising a barn on your own.
Yeah, yeah. It takes a village. And so what you see happen in the box is you see an incredible level of community being born, a deep intimacy among people who are common goals. We're going after the same thing in here in the box every single day. We realize that's the greatest form of community is, if you've ever been on a baseball team or you've ever been on a missions trip, you work really hard with a group of people consistently, you are gonna get close with those people. And that you may not have come to CrossFit for the relationships. In fact, for some people it sounds really weird to think, oh, you should come to my box. The community is awesome. Because we're used to going to the gym and putting our headphones in and hiding and hoping nobody's watching us. And then you step into this environment and you have to embrace your weaknesses. You have to be vulnerable, and the byproduct of that is incredible relationships. So ask somebody on the outside what they're looking for. They're looking for safe, fun, judgment-free. Ask anybody that's been doing CrossFit for more than a month, and they have completely changed their tone. They come because the coach is patient and helpful, and because of the community. And so we know this to be true. Community-based is our ace. That is our bread and our butter. And so, I want to challenge you guys to definitely ask yourself how you can begin to embrace the community more. And we want to give you some helpful tips.
I have an easy, benign way.
I would love to pitch to Peter for just a second to talk about probably one of the best things you can do if you really want to be able to dive into the community here.
If you're not already a part of it and you don't know about it, you should be. It's the CrossFit Sacred Pine Facebook page, the athletes page. It's not the coach's page, it's the athletes page. It's where we can sound off, we can commiserate over how bad a workout was, we can show photos of shoulder to overhead, we can talk about someone's PR, we can talk about an upcoming 5K run.
I want to see
it's a personal
PR.
record.
Personal record, okay.
It's we get to ring this bell over here. You can talk about an upcoming 5K event that maybe other people are interested in. We have Titus Games coming up, which I didn't even know about until somebody else posted it. So now I'm going to be doing some feats of strength thing. I don't even know. I'm going to be pulling a fire truck with my teeth or something. Who knows?
Who knows?
But you can, even if you're not feeling comfortable typing or posting something, but you can like somebody else's comment, you can write an encouraging comment. you'd be surprised the power of an encouragement comment in somebody's vulnerability, how far that's going to go and how far that's going to take them, because you'll get a private message back saying, thank you for saying that, or they'll see you in the lounge later. Thank you for saying something like that. And then you're talking to somebody that you didn't really talk to. You're talking to a 5:30 p.m. class from an 8 a.m. person who made a comment, and then you're forging a relationship that you didn't previously have. And then you see them at a communal event, and then you're sitting there talking to them all day, not the normal person that you were normally speaking with.
Yep.
And then you didn't realize you had so much in common with this individual.
You're being willing to be known. That's going to be your fastest way into rich community, is being willing to be known. Be vulnerable. Don't try to hide your weaknesses.
You're not bragging either.
You're also, you're not bragging.
You're encouraged to post good stuff. We all want to see the successes.
Yeah, Facebook group page. If you're not on it, hit me up. Let me get you on there. My bad if you're not on there. That's my bad. But also, every day when you show up to class, show up 5 minutes early. Community is being built 5 minutes before the WOD begins. We also throw the QT&A in there every day.
Questions that need answered.
Be honest and vulnerable in that question time. You know, when we ask the question, what are your hopes? What are your dreams? What's your favorite, trilogy? You know, be honest. Be vulnerable, and watch how community will be built. And that's why we do cool downs the way we do them. We bring the community. We try to do a cool down where everybody can get together and we can be building community on the back end of the hour and have some fun. We value it. We know it is a game changer. It is the turbocharger, if you will, to growth. So even if you're not excited about community but you want to get better, take a chance. Step in, embrace the community, watch how it will change everything for you. Community, man. Just real quick, because one of the things we wanted to do through this podcast was we wanted to also talk about why we made certain changes and tie vision in. So in 30 seconds, I will tell you that in the beginning of September, we actually reached a cap that we set for our box. It was 200 members. It was an exciting time. We created a wait list, and a week and a half later, we had 18 people on the wait list. And for a second, it felt good. It felt really good. I felt like the business was in a good place. But then it was a quick realization that we just cut off the ability for us to continue upholding one of the best parts about our culture, which is the inclusive nature of our people. That when you come to our box the first time, our people will interrogate you. They want to know where you came from and how you got here and what are your goals, and they're going to talk your ear off. And I love that about our box. And we pretty much squashed that when we put the cap in place. And so I sat
what if that guy over there was athlete number 202? We would never even know who he was.
We wouldn't even know who he was.
He'd be going to some other box, and
or I mean, if he's going anywhere, right? That might have discouraged him enough to keep him from stepping into fitness in this season. But because that's our culture and our community, we realized very quickly that was a foolish move, and that we needed to eradicate the cap and keep our culture moving in the right direction. That's why we announced that very soon we're going to be looking for more space. That's why we announced that we're going to be upping our staffing so that we can continue to create this safe, fun, judgment-free environment. But because we've created this awesome community that is inclusive, we didn't want to squash that, because that's one of the best things about us. So if you've ever wondered why we did that, there's your why right there. Just wanted you guys to be in the know. Power of community, baby. Okay. What's coming up?
Well, we got Friendsgiving coming up.
Friendsgiving coming up, November 10th.
November 10th.
It's a potluck.
Not a paleo potluck.
No. We're welcoming starches and desserts. I just met a new member who makes cheesecakes, and she's really good at it.
Banana pudding cheesecake.
And we're gonna finish the Friendsgiving. I'm just throwing it out there with a beer mile. There will also be a seltzer mile option for those of you that do not consume alcohol. What else? November 16th.
November 16th.
Poker night. Men's.
It's 5 card stud night.
I'm not very good at poker. I'm happy to go and lose my $10, but we're gonna have some fun in the process. That's Friday night.
We'll have some better food this time than hot dogs and pineapple skewers.
Also, you know what else? November 3rd, Titus Fit Games coming up. A strongman, powerman, CrossFit mashup, and my wife has given me a strong maybe to compete.
I'm in it.
And Peter's competing in it.
David and Goliath. Beth who's about this tall, maybe this tall, and me and Josh. Goliath.
All right.
She's gonna slew the giant.
So here's what's coming up. Next 5 weeks, we can go ahead and lay it out for you. Next week, what are we talking about?
Nutrition.
Oh my God, nutrition. How does CrossFit Sacred Pine feel about nutrition? We're gonna talk about it next week.
We like to eat.
Really? Next week, we're going to give you an overview for the next 5 weeks and beyond. So we're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about training. We're going to talk about rest, recovery, and mindset. We're going to talk about these 5 things and how our box feels about them. And then we're going to go into detail in the coming weeks for those things. But that is to nail down the last part of our vision. Our vision is to help others accomplish more than they thought possible through community-based. That's what we talked about today. Purpose-driven, so not just the 1 hour you're in here. Everything you do having purpose behind it. We're going to help you map that out starting next week on episode 4 of the Pinecast.
Can I have the last word or just say that?
Last word.
Seriously, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's all about
Team Blue.
Mic drop.
See you guys next week. Oh, yeah, you gotta break the phone. The birdhouses are for, we're trying to build a house that is community-based. These houses were built by Peter.
Oh, yeah.
And that pink's his favorite color. We'll see you next week. Job, everybody.
So you got the last word in.
I did. Sorry, dude.